The truth about David Bowie's Heroes will change how you hear it. This might be the most misunderstood love song ever written. David Bowie's Heroes has been played at Olympic Games, political rallies, and military ceremonies. It's been called a triumph, a declaration of eternal love, even a battle cry. But that's not what Bowie wrote. And the truth behind this song changes everything. Because Heroes isn't really about two people beating the odds and living happily ever after. It's about the opposite. It's about desperation, a final, hopeless moment shared between two lovers who know it can't last. A relationship doomed from the beginning, captured in a song that pretends, just for a moment, that things might be okay. Bowie once said that part of what made the song powerful was that the characters in it believed they were heroes, if only for a single day. That's all they had one day, and they clung to it like it could save them. How did a tragic ballad become a global anthem? This is the real story of Heroes. When most people hear Heroes, they don't think of heartbreak. They think of rising above, of winning, of standing tall when everything's falling apart. The song has become a kind of emotional shield, used in moments where people want to feel something larger than themselves. It's played during medal ceremonies, farewell tributes, and even major political events. In 2001, just days after September 11th, Bowie opened the concert for New York City with Heroes, and the crowd roared as if the song had been written for that moment. The ultimate irony, even the most quoted line, "We can be heroes just for one day," has been lifted from its original, painful setting. Most people hear it as a declaration of belief. But listen closely. It's not "we will be heroes," it's "we can." There's hesitation. It's a fantasy, a fragile hope. What's been lost in the decades since its release is how Heroes was born in secrecy, under pressure, and filled with tension. The love story at its center wasn't bold or celebrated. It was hidden and probably forbidden. But that version of the song, the one we all think we know, is what stuck. And maybe it's because we needed it to mean something bigger. We didn't want a sad story. We wanted a miracle. A place to disappear. He moved into a modest apartment above an auto repair shop and started working at Hansa Studios, a recording space just a few hundred feet from the Berlin Wall. From a control room window, you could literally see the guards patrolling on the East German side. Gun towers, barbed wire, watchdogs. It all started with a kiss. While Bowie was working on the track, he looked out the studio window and saw two of his close collaborators, Tony Visconti and a woman. They were leaning against the wall, arms wrapped around each other, kissing like they didn't care who saw, even though they absolutely should have cared. Tony was married. The relationship was secret. Bowie never said anything in the moment, but the image stuck with him. The heartbeat of the song. Later, Bowie described it like this: "I always said it was a couple of lovers by the Berlin Wall that prompted the idea. I could see them from the control room window, and I thought of all the places to meet in Berlin. Why pick a bench underneath a guard turret on the wall?" Dangerous, forbidden, real. The atmosphere inside Hansa Studios was cold, echoing, and industrial, perfect for what they were trying to build. And Bowie didn't want to write a clean love song. He wanted something fractured, something haunted. So they started from a riff, a looping, hypnotic guitar part played by Robert Fripp, who showed up to the studio and recorded all his parts in a single day. He didn't even hear the full track, just played. And what came out was electric, raw, and unpredictable. To create the now iconic vocals, Visconti set up 3 microphones at increasing distances from Bowie, one close, one mid-range, and one far across the room. As Bowie sang louder, more mics were activated, creating a natural crescendo without touching the mix. Shouting across a wall. Brian Eno later described the recording like this: "We were trying to make something that felt like a transmission from a desperate place. A signal across no man's land. Every layer of the track, the reverb, the looping guitars, the ghostly synths, was designed to feel unstable, like something could fall apart at any second, because that's exactly what the song was about." Look at the first verse. I will be king / and you'll be queen. It sounds romantic, almost fairy tale-like, but there's no conviction in those lines. The word, well, feels hollow, like a fantasy they're trying to believe in. Then comes the most quoted part. We can be heroes just for one day. Not we are heroes. Not we will be. We can't. That single word carries all the weight of doubt, longing, and fragility. This isn't triumph, it's a wish. Bowie builds the illusion higher and higher. We can beat them, we can be us, but there's a break at the end of each thought. A silence, like he's not sure they actually can. And then there's this line, though nothing will drive them away, / we can be heroes. He's admitting that nothing's going to change. The barriers, the enemies, the circumstances, they'll still be there. But for one moment, they can escape into this delusion. This shared lie. This one kiss by the wall. And perhaps the most devastating verse of all. I can remember / standing by the wall / and the gun shot above our heads / and we kissed as though nothing could fall. It's real now. The fantasy collapses into memory. The kiss isn't imagined, it happened. And it happened under threat, under surveillance. The line as though nothing could fall reveals everything. They knew it could fall. It was all about to fall. A scream into the void. Loving, even when you're losing. There's a strange distance in how Bowie delivers heroes. He doesn't sound like someone telling a story. He sounds like someone who's watching a story unfold, observing it from the outside, like he's singing about ghosts. And that makes sense because he kind of was. The couple he saw kissing, they weren't his characters. They were real. He didn't create them. He just captured them. But in doing so, he inserted himself into the moment. In the second half of the song, his voice grows louder, more desperate. The line between observer and participant starts to blur. Whose story was it really? That ambiguity is part of what makes Heroes so powerful. It's not just the story of a kiss at the Berlin Wall. It's the story of a man trying to find hope in something fleeting, and maybe pretending hard enough that it starts to feel real, just for one day. But over time, something strange happened. The song kept showing up in documentaries, in films, in moments of crisis. It became a soundtrack for everything from national pride to personal grief. And slowly, people began to reinterpret it. When the Berlin Wall finally fell in 1989, Heroes played in the streets. Not because Bowie wrote it to be political, but because the song captured a feeling of fragile hope, of longing for something better. We needed a miracle, and Bowie never corrected us. He never explained Heroes in full, never broke it down line by line. Maybe he liked the mystery, or maybe he knew that songs aren't ours once they're released. They belong to the people who need them. And somehow, Heroes became exactly what it was pretending to be, a song that made us feel like we could win, even if just for one day. There's a reason Heroes still hurts, even when we don't know why. It's not loud with emotion. It's quiet with it. Every line sounds like it's trying to hold itself together. And maybe that's why it connects so deeply. Because sometimes love doesn't last. Sometimes the world doesn't change. And sometimes the only thing we get is a moment. Not a lifetime, not a fairy tale. Just one day, one kiss, one line in a song that almost no one else sees for what it really is. But once you hear Heroes through this lens, it hits different. Not smaller, but heavier. You feel what's hiding under the words. The heartbreak, the silence between the lines. That's the power of songwriting. And that's the genius of Bowie. He didn't give us a perfect love story. He gave us something better, a broken one that still tries to believe. So the next time you hear Heroes, don't just sing along, listen, really listen. And if you love stories like this, hidden meanings, forgotten details, the real emotions behind legendary songs, consider subscribing. It helps more than you know. And thank you for listening.